ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। Thank you Sangat ji for joining us today on Sunday for the Sunday Discourse session. As it was mentioned in the introduction by Kiara ji, focus on your mantra. Throughout this discourse, make an effort to really focus on that mantra within. As I'm delivering the discourse today, as the Kirtan is performed today later on in the session, have that mantra automatically cycling through your mind. Build that connection with the divine. So let's get into today's session. Over the course of the past month or so, my brothers Rishipal Singh, James Singh and myself, we've tried with the blessings of the divine to deliver the key messages that Guru Nanak Dev Ji revealed to us in Pauri 8 to 11 of the Japji Sahib. And in today's discourse, we're going to conclude these discourses on the power of listening. Pauri 8 taught us that through the power of listening, and this we mentioned was the true inner listening, we can receive vast amounts of spiritual knowledge and knowledge about the world and the universe. Pauri 9 taught us that true inner listening can transform us. Even those who are known as foul-mouthed, even they start to admire the Lord and start to praise the one divine. Pauri 10 taught us that listening to the true essence of the Shabad, one obtains true spiritual wisdom and will start to grasp the essence of divine meditation. We'll now delve into the divine revelations of the 11th Pauri and listen to what Guru Nanak Dev Ji is saying to us. So let's listen to all four Pauris, the recitation of all four Pauris of the Gurbani. Sri Vaheguru Ji Sunaya Siddh Peer Surnath Sunaya Dharat Dhaval Akas Sunaya Deep Lo Patal Sunaya Poh Na Saka Kal Nanak Bhagata Sada Vigas ਸੁਣਿਆ ਦੁਖ ਪਾਪ ਕਾ ਨਾਸ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਈਸਰ ਬ੍ਰਹਮਾ ਇੰਦ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਮੁਖ ਸਾਲਾਹਣ ਮੰਦ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਜੋਗ ਜੁਗਤ ਤਨ ਭੇਦ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਸਾਸਤ ਸਿਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਵੇਦ ਨਾਨਕ ਭਗਤਾ ਸਦਾ ਵਿਗਾਸ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਦੁਖ ਪਾਪ ਕਾ ਨਾਸ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਸਤ ਸੰਤੋਖ ਗਿਆਨ ਸੁਣਿਆ 68 ਕਾ ਇਸਨਾਨ, ਸੁਣਿਆ ਪੜ ਪੜ ਪਾਵਹਿ ਮਾਨ, ਸੁਣਿਆ ਲਾਗੈ ਸਹਜ ਧਿਆਨ, ਨਾਨਕ ਭਗਤਾ ਸਦਾ ਵਿਗਾਸ, ਸੁਣਿਆ ਦੁਖ ਪਾਪ ਕਾ ਨਾਸ, ਸੁਣਿਆ ਸਰਾ ਗੁਣਾ ਕੀ ਗਾਹ, ਸੁਣਿਆ ਸੇਖ ਪੀਰ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ, ਸੁਣਿਆ ਅੰਧੇ ਪਾਵਹਿ ਰਾਹ, ਸੁਣਿਆ ਹਾਥ ਹੋਵੈ ਅਸਗਾਹ, ਨਾਨਕ ਭਗਤਾ ਸਦਾ ਵਿਗਾਸ, ਸੁਣਿਆ ਦੁਖ ਪਾਪ ਕਾ ਨਾਸ, ਨਾਨਕ ਭਗਤਾ ਸਦਾ ਵਿਗਾਸ, ਸੁਣਿਆ ਦੁਖ ਪਾਪ ਕਾ ਨਾਸ। Sangat ji, let's cast our mind back to 15th century India at the time of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, the first Sikh Guru. Bhai Mardana was a devoted disciple of the Guru. He was not only a close companion of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, but also a talented musician who played the rabab, stringed guitar-like instrument. He had an unwavering love for his Guru and a deep desire to comprehend the profound teachings of Gurbani. One day, Bhai Mardana approached Guru Nanak Dev Ji with his heart brimming with longing. He expressed his yearning to understand the true essence of Gurbani, the word of the divine. He had a burning wish to experience a deeper connection with the divine through the Guru's teaching. Impressed by Bhai Mardana's sincerity and devotion, Guru Nanak Dev Ji decided to impart a valuable lesson to him. Guru Nanak Dev Ji, the embodiment of divine wisdom and compassion, instructed Bhai Mardana to meet him at a secluded spot by the tranquil riverbed. Bhai Mardana's heart leaped with joy, eagerly anticipating the spiritual journey that awaited him. As he approached the serene riverside, the melodic sounds of flowing river and rustling leaves surrounded his senses. There, seated on the riverbank, Guru Nanak Dev Ji awaited him, his radiant face shining like the sun. His divine presence exuded an aura of peace and serenity. Guru Nanak Dev Ji was lost in deep contemplation, his eyes closed and his lips gently whispered the sacred verses of Gurbani. Bhai Mardana was mesmerized by Guru Nanak's magnificent aura and felt blessed to witness this sacred communion. Guru Nanak Dev Ji told Bhai Mardana to sit at a respectful distance, urging him to immerse himself in the experience that was about to unfold. Bhai Mardana settled onto the ground, his heart pounding with anticipation and his eyes fixed intently on his beloved Guru. As the Guru's melodious voice resonated through the tranquil air, a magical ambience descended upon the surroundings. The words of the Guru's hymns flowed like a gentle river, carrying profound wisdom and divine blessings. The melodies of the rabab, strummed by Bhai Mardana, merged with the beauty of the Guru's voice, creating a harmonious symphony that echoed through the riverside. Bhai Mardana closed his eyes, surrendering himself to the divine vibrations of Gurbani. The hymns, penetrated the depths of his being, stirring a profound sense of peace and divine bliss within him. With each verse, his spirit soared, transcending the confines of the earthly realm. Tears of reverence streamed down his face, cleansed by the purity of devotion. Time seemed to have stood still as Bhai Mardana basked in the radiance of the Guru's teachings. The words of the Gurbani caressed his soul, awakening a deep understanding of life's mysteries, offering guidance on the path to enlightenment. In that sacred moment, Bhai Mardana experienced an indescribable union with the divine. After what felt like an eternity, Guru Nanak Dev Ji concluded the recitation. The Guru turned his gaze towards Bhai Mardana, whose eyes welled with gratitude and awe. In a voice that reflected his immense love, Guru Nanak Dev Ji asked Bhai Mardana, "Mardana, what did you learn from listening to the Gurbani?" Overwhelmed by the divinity of the experience, Bhai Mardana, his voice filled with humility, replied, "Guruji, through listening to the Gurbani, I've learned that its power lies not only in its recitation, but also in its transformative impact on the listener. It awakens the slumbering soul, purifies the restless mind, and connects one with the internal divine presence." Guru Nanak Dev Ji's face beamed with joy and satisfaction. He embraced Bhai Mardana, for the devoted Sikh had grasped the essence of the spiritual lesson. The Guru reiterated the significance of actively listening to Gurbani, encouraging Bhai Mardana to internalize its divine wisdom and allow it to permeate every facet of his being. This story, Sangat Ji, shows the impact that listening to Gurbani can have on our being, and how the divine magic of Gurbani can transform our Maya-bound mind and connect it to the hem of the Lord's robe. Our previous discourses focused on the power that true, divine, inner listening brings to us. But in today's discourse, I want to focus on how we can practically apply the power of listening into our day-to-day lives. Sangat Ji, the beauty of Gurbani is that it has an infinite amount of meaning. Guruji's teachings are there not only to guide those who are deep into their spiritual journey, but also those, like myself, who have no spiritual understanding whatsoever. This is the beauty of the Guru's word. Now, Sangat Ji, let's explore what this 11th body is teaching us. Sunaya sara guna ke gaah. Sunaya. Through inner listening, sara guna ke gaah. Imagine one drop of water being one virtue, one divine virtue. Now, let's think about how many drops would be in a cup of water. Maybe a few hundred, a few thousand. If someone was said to have the virtues that amount to that one cup of water, we would generally say that that person is a very virtuous being. Ga is reference to the oceans, that person, that being who listens to the essence of the Shabad within, becomes the embodiment, the knower of infinite amount of virtues, like the amount of drops in the oceans. Sangat ji, we can see this influence in our very own lives. How listening to Gurbani slowly but surely can change our world and habits. I would like to give you an example from my own life. When I was in secondary school, or high school, as some of you may know it, due to the nature and environment I was in, I was heavily influenced to listen to a lot of rap and hip-hop music. On the way to school in the morning, I would listen to these songs. Sometimes while studying at school, I would listen to this music. On the way back home, and even at home, I would be listening to this music. I would say about 3 hours of my day will be dedicated to listening to these type of songs. I'm by no means saying all music is bad, Sangat ji, but the songs I would listen to would have zero meaning and value. Over time, this music had a massive impact on me. My habits changed significantly. Lust, anger, greed, attachment, and pride all rose within me. I started to hang around friends that had a bad influence on me. The impact was real. But through divine blessings, I had an encounter with a Gurmukh who subtly told me that my lifestyle and my life was going in the wrong direction. I don't know what happened, Sangat ji, but in that moment, the divine put a thought in my head that I should stop listening to this kind of music and instead replace it with Kirtan, the divine recitation of Gurbani in music form. And from that moment, I replaced music with Kirtan. Sangat ji, the impact was profound. It wasn't an instant change, but over the space of about 3 years, my lifestyle changed dramatically. I would start to pay more attention in my prayers. I would attend Kirtan programs regularly. I had more and more encounters with good Sangat. This is the impact of listening to Gurbani. Slowly, the power of Gurbani changed one negative thought pattern at a time, changing the negative to a virtue. Sangat ji, this is what life is about. It's not about making massive, unsustainable changes, but about striving to improve small steps at a time, 1% at a time, in Sahaj. Consequently, this is what coming to the Sangat does. If you look back at the first time you and I joined this Sangat, how much have we unknowingly changed? When you look back, you don't even realize how much of a difference the divine Sangat has made us. This is the power of listening, the influence of Sangat. It changes you for the better without you even knowing it. It was mentioned in a previous discourse that changing the direction of a ship by even 1 degree will cause the ship to arrive at a completely different country, a completely different location. So Sangat ji, let's try it ourselves. Let's bring Kirtan into our life, or listening to the Bible daily, or the Quran, or the Torah, or the Gita. Let's use the power of listening. Guru Amar Das ji, the third Guru, have literally given us a blueprint. on how we should lead our spiritual lives in the Anand Sahib. The 37th body of the Anand Sahib describes how we should use our ears. Guru Amar Das Ji says, "E Sravano mere ho, sacha sunana no pathaye, sacha sunana no pathaye, sarir laye sunho sat bani, jit suni man tan harya, hoa rasna ras samani, sach alakh vedani, ताकि गत कही न जाए, कह नानक अमृत नाम सुनो पवित्र होवहो, सच सुनने नो पठाए." E Sravano mere ho, Sravano meaning ears. O my ears, you are created only to hear the truth. Sach sunane no pathai, to hear the truth. You were created and attached to this body to listen to the true Bani, the Sat Bani. Jeta suni manatan harya hoa rasna rasas mani. Hearing it, hearing this Sat Bani, the mind and body are rejuvenated and the tongue is absorbed in the ambrosial nectar, the Amrit. Sach alakh vadani taki gat kahi na jaye. The true Lord is unseen and wondrous. His state cannot be described. Kaha Nanak Amrit Naam Sunoho Pavitra Hovaho Sacha Sunana No Pathai. Dhan Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, listen to the ambrosial Naam, the Shabad Mantar, and become holy. This was the reason you were created, to hear the truth. So Sangat ji, sunaya sara guna ke ga. By listening to the essence of the Shabad, you will receive oceans worth of virtues. Sunaya Sekh Peer Padshah. Sunaya, through listening, one can obtain the spiritual levels of the Sheikhs and the Peers and other saints. These are just names for saints in different traditions. Sunaya ande paveh raho. Sunaya, through inner listening. Ande meaning blind. Rah meaning path. Through listening within, even those who are blinded will find the path to the divine. Sangat ji, we all live very hectic lives, plagued with stresses, anxieties and worries. We often find ourselves in situations where we're so stressed and confused, we don't know what to do. It may be a family issue, an argument you've had with someone, and now you're in a challenging predicament. It may be the anxieties of your work, the stresses imparted by your bosses, or it even may be the anxieties of your own Maya mind, convincing you to believe what you are not. Whatever the situation may be that is blinding you, Sangat ji, the divine will hold your hand and guide you through the fog. In these moments, Sangat ji, like I mentioned earlier, turn to listening to Kirtan, listening to your mantra, whatever mantra that is. Om, Jesus, Allah, Waheguru, Ram. Seek refuge in the mantra, and the divine will always have your back in suffering. Guru Arjan Dev Ji, the fifth Guru, says, Salok Deen Dard Tukh Panjana Kat Kat Nath Nath Saran Tumhari Ayo Nanak Ke Prabh Saath. Ashtapadi. Jai Mat Pita Sut Meet Na Pai, मन ऊहा नाम तेरे संग सहाई जह महाभयान दूत जमदल तह केवल नाम संग तेरे चलै जह मुश्किल होवै अत भारी हर को नाम खिन माहे उदारी आनक पुनः चरण करत नहीं तरै हर को नाम कोट पाप पर हरै गुरमुख नाम जपो मन मेरे नानक पावहो सूख कनेरे दीन दर्द दुख भंजना घट घट नाथ अनाथ O the destroyer of pains and the suffering of the poor and the master of each and every heart saran tumhari aayo nanak ke prabh saath I've come to seek your sanctuary O Nanak please be with me जह मात पिता सुत मीत ना पाई मन ऊहा नाम तेरे संग सहाई In those situations where there will be no mother, no father, no children, no friends or siblings to help you, O my mind, only there, only Naam, the name of the Lord, will be there as your support and help. Jeh Mahapayan Doot Jamadala तह केवल नाम संग तेरे चलै When the messenger of death will try to crush you, there the name of the Lord, the Naam, will go along with you and protect you. Jai muskal o hove hat pari, har ko naam khin mahe udari. Where there's obstacles that are so big, in those situations, the Naam, the name of the Divine, will rescue you in one instant. Anak punah charan kart nahi tara, har ko naam kot paap par hara. By performing countless rituals, you shall not be saved. This was mentioned earlier on in the Japji Sahib, how going to pilgrimages, these outwardly acts, will not quieten down the fire that is within you. So anak punah charna kart nahi tara. By performing countless rituals, you should not be saved. But har ko naam kot papar hara, the name of the Divine, the name of the Lord, will destroy and wash away millions of sins. Gurmukh naam japo man mere, nanak pavah suk kanere. As a Gurmukh, chant the name, O my mind. Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, this shall bring you countless joys. Sangat Ji, the Shabad will save you in any situation. So let's lean on the Shabad whenever you're being attacked by the forces of Maya. Sunaya haat hove asagaho. Through inner listening, that thing that seems impossible and out of reach becomes in our grasp and easily attainable. Nanak bhagta sada vigas, sunay dukh paap ka nas. Dhan Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, the Divine's bhagats, his saints, will forever be in bliss. And through true inner listening, all your pains, sufferings, and sins will be washed out. So Sangat Ji, over the last month, we have heard the profound impact that listening has on our life. So from today onwards, make a promise to yourself that you will make a change within your listening habits. This can be anything. You may choose to start actively listening to your friends and families. This will have a massive impact on your relationships. You may, for the first time, actually be listening to the other person, actually processing their feelings, rather than listening to retaliate or just to express your ego-filled judgments. This alone will start to create a deep connection with those you love. You may choose to listen to 10 minutes of Kirtan every day, whilst on your work break or whilst traveling. This alone will deepen your connection with the divine. Over the course of a week, that will be over an hour of you time with the divine. Each and every time you do this, the Guru will start to improve your mind. You may choose to start listening to those positive thoughts within you, those thoughts that push you outside of your comfort zone and make you grow. It could be starting a difficult conversation that has to take place, or taking a leap of faith for an opportunity you have. Sangatji, we all have two voices in our head. One voice forces us to stay where we are, in our comfort zone. It's the voice that convinces us to stay in bed at Amrit Villa. The voice that convinces us that our old habits are okay. The voice that continues to tell us we're not good enough and a bad person. The other voice is often the quieter one, and often the one that is the harder decision. But normally, the right one. The voice that says, get up and meditate. The voice that tells us not to gossip and slander. The voice that says, get up and exercise and take care of this body. This is the voice we should start listening to. And Sangatji, I guarantee you, you will look back in a few months and a few years and thank yourself for taking this small transformative step. Just as we end Sangatji, I would leave you with this. There's something called the compound interest formula for self-development. It may sound confusing, but in reality, it's very simple. It is 1 raised to the power of 365. 1 representing your life right now, the complete version of you right now. And 365, the number of days in a year. This formula, if you were to put it into a calculator, will equal to 1. However, if we every day improve ourselves by 1%, the formula changes to 1.01, 01 being the extra percent of effort you've been putting in that day. If we now raise this to the power of 365, the number of days in the year, the answer now becomes 37.78. This is a massive difference. By improving yourself 1% every day, Sangatji, it will be approximately 37 times better than you were at the start of the year. Sangatji, small changes make the biggest differences. Make the change today. Take the leap of faith, and the divine will do the rest. Nanak Bhagata Sada Vigas, Sunaya Dukh Papa Nas. Nanak Bhagata Sada Vigas, Sunaya Dukh Papa Nas. Sangatji, I'd like to thank Bhai Sahib and Rishipal Singh Ji, who have helped me write these discourses over the past few months. And I continue to ask for the blessings of the Sangat so we can continue to do this seva. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.